Uh, well, what's up, everybody? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 4, episode 20. Yeah, we've been very busy lately. I've been trying to, do some social media stuff on my main YouTube channel. Currently working on trying to get the main Nightwing podcast on my main YouTube channel up on Anchor and Spotify, because I know people said they wanted that. So I'm currently working on doing that right now. I have to potentially upload 100 episodes to Anchor and Spotify. That way it could all be in order, but it's okay. Happens. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But
whatever happened to those rankings, eh?
yeah, we'll be doing eventually, just like my dad. He was a part of my life,
I mean, to be fair, we don't we talk about them and like what we think of players and how we would rank them anyway on stream. So we don't need to just
like we
pull
did
up
a tier list, like we did earlier last
well,
year.
like last year. I'm just saying, like we don't, and like in spring and stuff we did that. I'm just saying it's fine that we didn't, this year. And if we don't anymore, just like because we already basically talk about it, like we say where we would rank them or what we think of each player individually anyway, and what our MVPs for be. Like we don't need to just like pull up some Word document at this point, so I think it's fine.
It depends on the day. Depends on how I feel. One day I'm just gonna put Beerson as number 1 just to satisfy all those fucking Beerson dick riders out there.
Yeah. Some days you feel black, some days you feel white.
Yeah. I speak the Asian language, right? I'm a tier 3 Amaranth sub. That's how it works. But to let you guys know what's going on, the channel name changed. You guys know why I did that. YouTube unlocked the community tab for the channel, so I'm more able to frequently update you guys on stuff that is going to happen on the channel. I'm going to start putting out more polls and what videos and content you guys would like to see. I have a new video series. We're going to start immediately when the lock-in tournament starts, because I know we have the big thing with the LEC format that just got revealed. So today's episode won't be that long. It's going to be our usual hour 20, hour 30 max, because I got to go to the bank. I got to go to the store. So we're going to get in here.
You have a bank? Damn.
That's kind of how you save your money, you fucking dirty
shit,
bastard.
But no, I didn't realize black people had banks.
I need someone to clip that. He said, you have a bank?
What? Yeah, I didn't realize black people had banks. Thought they were too broke.
Yeah, they just store shit in their fucking dresser in their Section 8 housing, you fucking maple syrup.
Yeah, and then they have the revolver, like in Goodfellas in their dresser.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, speaking of banks, did you see that post by DRX? I mean, that was pretty funny.
I saw that, yeah. Oh, God.
Imagine if that was actually real.
Good Lord. So, this is what we're going to do, guys. For this episode, we're going to keep it in order like we always have been for every single episode. LEC first, then LCS stuff. So, all of the LCE 2023 spring split teams have been revealed. But before we get talking about that, I'm going to, share out the stream, and I'm going to ask for the usual. But
I love how your thing's called LEC 2023, but it's like then all the rest of the topics just have nothing to do with LEC, not a single one.
Well, I thought I'd just combine it all at once because, like, what can I? There's been so much LEC news. You know what's crazy is that LEC is going to be changing up their formats, and then LCS is going to stick with the same regular BO1 shit. And, our fucking viewership. Oh my.
Well, anyway, if this offseason proved one thing, it's that all the other 3 regions should have expanded to 2 to 4 teams immediately after this year. And just looking at how this offseason is going, yeah, it's pretty much proof. Yeah, I mean, definitely, I'm really confused with so let me get this straight. Okay, I know we're going to get into it later, but let me get this straight, Dig, all right? You had the chance to get a roster of players such as Impact or Ssumday, Santorin, Jensen or Power of Evil, Sven or Neo, and Ignar or Afromu for the 2021 off season and the 2021 season and the 2022 season, and you didn't do that. And now that and now after reports saying you were basically like kind of broke and you're almost sold your spot to Sentinels, now you pay up all your fucking money to do this? Like, how does this make any sense? And why didn't you do this the last year or 2 when you could have?
I think they had money. I think they did. They just were just trying to be cheap in
Yes,
budget.
it's just
So
damn.
if the roster panned out, they could just sell the prospects for a lot of money. I think they have money, you know.
Again, I'm saying this is what they should have done last year or the year before. Jensen, Santorin, they could have got Ssumday. That would have been great over Armut, in my opinion. They could have got Sven. They could have got him off of Cloud9 to play ADC again. And then, Ignar or Afromu returns, one of the two. Like, I don't know why they didn't do this fucking roster, prior, but
well, they wanted to simply just, like I said before, you build up an academy team and you play these players, and people realize that NA players kind of suck. NA players just don't get teams because people just don't like them. They're actually not that good.
Well, listen, I agree, but that's why we have Hoon to rescue NA.
Exactly. Hey, Team Liquid is building an all-Korean roster. Hoon might be your guy, for your
hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed Tenacity isn't going to EG, but does that mean he stays on 100 Thieves and is their starter now?
Pretty much. That's pretty much what's going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, if that Travis Gafford video that I just did a response to is panning out, yeah, Tenacity will be their top laner.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's,
holy God,
if
Tenacity sucks like Kenvi did, I'm about to be so mad. Because everyone does that.
Kenvi did not. He
sucked. Yeah. Stop capping. He sucked. What's wrong with you?
He sucked in the beginning because he was still finding his foot and he was nervous and because
what you mean.
No, but he found his footing more and he wasn't great, but he played for the last place team in LCS basically. He played for Immortals with fucking lost Power of Evil sucking ass, Revenge and Ignar.
Revenge is a pretty good player from what I recommend.
Yeah, and also here's the thing MSK doesn't realize. It's like when I say certain players like Kenvi are great, what I mean is just I'm not saying they will play great right away or they will. I'm saying that's what their potential is, or they're great for NA prospect standards, or great for like bottom team standards. That with like what they can possibly get is what I mean. Because if I meant that literally, then all fucking like 100 players in the LCS would be considered great. Like I just mean for that standards. Like obviously Kenvi wasn't gonna be beating the top junglers in the league still. He's not that.
Literally not true. If he was actually good, you're like, yeah, I was right.
No, I'm saying he could be still. Are they gonna roll with him next year or no?
It looks like they will. They're gonna keep Revenge and Kenvi. Good. Good God.
They're keeping Revenge.
Revenge had one good game this entire year. That's when he played Set against Team Liquid. He had one good game this whole year.
Well, why have all tops in the league? They're like they just want to like keep like seriously. I can think of so many fucking better ones to like give this opportunity to than Revenge. Like holy, this is like when they just had like Kiwi Kid there the whole time and he was like ruining I'm a Cutie Pie his fucking career. Jesus Christ. Like I fucking subbing Kumo for all I care. He would be better. Jesus Christ.
They could have probably gotten Philip and that'd probably be a bigger upgrade over Revenge.
Yes, or at this point just get Alorum again. He would be better. Jesus Christ.
My boy Alorum a spot. Alorum can't play but Revenge can. I don't understand it.
Anyway, but I'm not saying Tenacity will work out, but his potential is he's like kind of like an Alfari lane dominant type guy, plays a lot of like Jason, Aatrox and stuff like that, and his potential is around like how Fudge played in summer 2021. That's like where he could reach it.
Here is like a lot of people that say some of these prospects are good have to understand if you have good things around you, that's gonna make you look better. Is it his individual play that's good, or is the people around him making him look good? There's always a combination of both.
Well, on 100 Thieves Academy, I thought that was the case with Tenacity for a little while because he was still showing issues he never improved on. And Jesus Christ. Yeah, did you see his tweets recently? Just Jesus Christ.
Imagine, like, being an LCS org and your franchise player is Revenge.
Yeah, imagine your franchise is so bad that fucking Revenge plays for you for 3 years in a row. How? Holy fuck! I mean, it's almost as bad as having Destiny there for a fucking 1.5 years. Jesus Christ!
I'd much prefer they kept Destiny. I'd much prefer that. At least they were trying to win the game. At least I mean, he would pretty much play Nautilus and just pretty much anchor himself to a sinking ship. But
No,
it's
he
crazy
was
how he played Nautilus
garbage.
and it was a sinking ship.
No, it was garbage. They should have just
Why don't
instead of getting Ignore or keeping Destiny, they should have did a swap with it, because since they were releasing Isles anyway, they should have just did that swap. Because I mean, Isles didn't play good, but he still had some potential left to grow, and he wasn't like
some pop-off games, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible. Like, I would have taken him over how Ignore and Destiny both played. I mean, I don't know what team he's even on right now. I think he went back to Oceanic or something.
Yeah, he did. He played on Order. Not Order.
Yeah.
Chiefs. He was on Chiefs earlier at Worlds, I'm pretty sure.
No, he wasn't on.
Was he on Chiefs? I swear he was on there.
Yeah, no. They had like Dragu K and another support lane. They had two, but he wasn't one of them.
Oh God,
he might have got recently signed by them, but yeah.
This off season has been interesting to say the least. I mean, I don't know what else to really say about like the LCS sometimes, because the LCS is moving pretty slow this year. Usually,
he's still teamless. Wow. After May, he's still teamless. That is surprising.
The thing with IMT is that they went and got Lost, who was pretty bad. When you're thinking to yourself, if you want a decent ADC that might get you some wins, they could have got King. I think King would have been fine. He might have made that much better, but that's better than Lost. Lost is bad. Lost was really bad, guys.
Again, King, it is a tragedy what happened. Like, for Lost to get all those LCS chances and not King, even though King was objectively the better version of Lost through Academy throughout all those years, just because he looked a little off, and his debut games for Cloud9 is pretty piss poor, and then he looked terrible, in the games where they didn't Berserker lost his visa and stuff. But I mean, you can't really blame them when they were just shoved into that situation. But anyway, now he's like an older player. He's like 24 or something, or 25. So teams probably won't give him a chance. But I think that the reason what I think they were trying to do with Lost, though, is because he still wasn't good on Golden Guardians, but in comparison to how he was prior, he did technically improve, and he wasn't like the worst ADC in the league. He was like around the 7th or 8th, which was technically still an upgrade, because they had the 10th and 11th best ADCs prior in Wild Turtle and Arrow. So and they had Ole there as well, who's now released, and he's the same sort of deal. Like 7th or 8th best support was also not doing good at all either, like missing a lot of hooks. So I think what they were thinking was that Lost his play style would go well with a support like Ignore, and that Lost was carrying the bot lane for them out of him and Ole instead of Ole, and that if he has a better support, then he'll keep improving. So I guess that was their mindset. That definitely didn't work out. But
my thing here with IMT is I just don't know why they keep making bad roster decisions. Like, it just keeps blowing my mind. And these orgs say they want to be competitive, but then you have revenge on your team. That just blows my mind.
I don't blame INT for like
I do.
Not the last split, because the last split was just like, let's try to salvage this as best as possible instead of sitting there and letting the team rot like fucking Golden Guardians and other teams did last year. And they tried their best. They got what looked like to be upgrades with who was available that they could have gotten, and so
Lost was not an upgrade. Lost was a fucking trash.
With how Arrow and Wild Turtle were doing, he looked like at least like a tad bit of an upgrade.
I'm not gonna lie, man. They should have just bought King from Cloud9 if he was available. Like, if they could have did it, they probably should have, because that would have salvaged their. Salvaged maybe got the playoffs, but the players they chose were just bad. Damn, she's hot. Holy shit. Oh my goodness.
Jesus Christ.
Just look, guys, these hot girls keep throwing themselves at me,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised, like, Power of Evil looked like a top 3 mid laner in fucking spring, despite all the garbage around him and being on the worst team in LCS, but then in summer, he looks like the worst mid laner.
I don't think he looked good all year. He had a pretty rough year, all things considered. It's crazy he's not going to be in the league. What's crazy, people, is Power of Evil and Pole Belter, who the LCS and by committee people voted, these are like the best guys in LCS history. They were literally 4th and 5th. These guys, yeah, somewhere around there. These guys don't even have teams. Factor in, guys, Pole Belter was voted top 5 LCS mid laner of all time, and he still hasn't been on a team in how many years at this point now? Like what? It's been 3.
Oh no, who's it rumored that Immortals has though for their mid laner this year? Because they did after spring they extended Power of Evil till 2023 November. So I thought he was going to stay on there one more year.
Maybe they might play him, but from the stuff that I've been seeing, it looks like they're probably not. I don't know. I wouldn't give up on a player like that either, though. Like people are so quick to give up on players.
Like I thought they would keep Kenvi and Power of Evil and try to gain more synergy there, but then I thought they would dump the other 3, but I guess they're keeping revenge.
Kenvi's synergy does not go very well with Power of Evil because I think Kenvi wants to do stuff early on. I think Power of Evil is not going to be that kind of player.
Yeah, but I guess they want to give it more time. Maybe I thought they would do, but
Olive would be their mid laner.
Okay, a Blaze Olive.
Hello. So, let's talk about the LEC 2023 Spring Split team. So, all the teams are done. Essentially, like, anything can happen, guys. Literally, fucking Yankos could be like, I don't want to join Team Heretics, and everything just fucking falls apart. But I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. So, LEC Wulo and Alejandro Gomez did a great job reporting on the news, and we have all of their teams ready to talk about. And the LEC coming up for this new season is going to have a new format change. Now, will the LCS do that? Probably not, because the LCS is content with apparently being just a fucking shitload of a region, honestly. That's just how it works.
Yeah, intensive. Sorry, is that how you say his name?
Who? Hello?
No, the guy in chat. Intensive. Is that how you say?
Where's Tactical going? Oh, to the unemployment line.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, it is insane how Power of Evil has like played for 10 years, all on separate teams, 10 teams for 10 years, basically.
Power of Evil is, I genuinely think he's a good player. I don't know what happened this year. I just think he had a bad year. And the thing is, like, people in the LCS are just so easy to give up on some players, and there are players that you need to give up on immediately because there's no future in some of these players. But some players like Power of Evil, one bad season doesn't really imply that they're dog shit, because Power of Evil has saved some teams from being even worse.
Yes, okay, but like there were like 5 or 6 import mid laners who are better than him, though.
How much money were they charging? Because if they're not charging what Power of Evil's charging, fuck them.
Yes, but anyway, and that so yes, and he's still like in the bottom 4, like, but. If you're a bottom 4 team, instead of picking up players like Power of Evil, as the analyst table said in the off season before, like it would be better just to try to do like the CLG route instead of just picking up, like 7th or 6th place, import, ranked. I mean,
like if you're picking up. Like if you're picking a Power of Evil, you might as well put him on a top tier team, because he's gonna improve a bottom tier team, but what's that really do? That's not really going to be doing anything.
Again, imagine if they actually, they had got fucking like last place both splits this year. Imagine if instead of getting Power of Evil and fucking Wild Turtle again, they just got the fucking 5 Fire and Value.
And they would have gotten 12th place with that roster.
Well, it couldn't have gotten any worse, but with how they were doing,
they 15. They could have
probably would have been an improvement.
Teams.
No, they were literally the best mid laner and ADC to get from the academy and amateur circuit, but nobody picked them up, even though they were stomping everybody and stomping all the players who then went to
people in academy means nothing.
No,
but the LCS looked like shit too.
No, but they were playing against LCS players as well, who were like moved down there for a little while, and players who then were signed the next year and did great this year. They stomped all of them. But they didn't get teams over the others just because they were each like 23 or 24 years old. So they're like, yep, too old. It's like, what the fuck?
Let's go over the LEC 2023 Spring Split teams. Now, I can't really formally talk about the format right now because I have to go and dig into it myself. So we'll just talk about the teams. We'll start at the bottom row, and then we'll work our way up. All right, we'll start at the bottom row. We're going to start with Excel. Excel's newest roster will be Otawamne, Xerxes, Vetio, Patrick, Targamas. Otawamne has been playing forever. I mean, literally when I started watching EULCS back in the day, he was on H2K, he's been on Splice, he was on Rogue. You know, this guy's had success in the, you know, EULCS actually, you know. And the thing here with Otawamne is that he finally won his first trophy, and he won it with Rogue. Now, from everything that we've been hearing, it was pretty much the coaching staff didn't want to utilize him anymore. They kind of wanted him to get off the team, so they chose to get someone else. So Otawamne ends up on Excel. And I think that's a huge upgrade over Finn. Xerxes is kind of a side grade to Marcoon. I think Marcoon had a... No, not Marcoon, be Advian. Oh, no, yeah, it'd be Marcoon, my bad. Advian was support, my bad. Marcoon played... you know, about as well as Xerxes did. I think they're like two sides of the same coin, but I think Xerxes has more upsides than Marcoon, and I think he has higher highs. And reuniting Otawamne and Xerxes from their previous Splice team maybe might have a bigger effect on Excel. I think Vetio played well on Misfits, easily one of the best mid laners in the LEC this year, carrying that dog shit team they fucking had. You know, yeah, he kind of failed in the playoffs, but I mean, everyone expected that. You know, what did you expect from Misfits in the playoffs? They were going to go out in the first round, like everyone predicted. I mean, nothing he can do there.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously they're going to lose to G2 or whoever they
lose to any team. But, they were horrible. They were lose to any team. You could have put them up against fucking Excel. They would have lost too.
No, I genuinely, you know, how they were doing in the regular season, and which I didn't think was just a best of one thing. I genuinely thought they were the favorites going in until Fnatic. It looked like Fnatic was improving more and more in their after winning their best of 5 against XL. But before they faced off against XL and beat them there, I thought, you know, going in, Misfits would actually, you know, beat whoever won that best of 5. But again, I genuinely think they were better than Mad this year, though. That's why that format thing was complete bullshit. Like with how Mad did in play-ins, and then playoffs. You know.
First.
No, play-ins, worlds as well, and playoffs. Like how Misfits
wouldn't have done any better. They would have probably looked even worse. That's how bad Misfits were.
Misfits looked way better.
They did not. G2. Misfits looked like shit. Misfits looked pretty bad. A lot of Misfits wins came from other teams throwing. That's how they got a lot of their wins.
And they still look better than how Mad did.
They did not. They only gave them Akali and Yumi, and when you took those away, they looked like complete dog shit. That's what happened. What is wrong with you? Did Neon pay you? Are you Neon spokesperson? What is wrong with you?
Well, yes, because he did great, and you all doubted him. But anyway,
Neon is a weak side AD carry. That is
and a great one.
He's about a 6th place AD carry, and he can stay there. Patrick and Targamas as a bot lane. I think. Okay, Targamas got pretty gapped as the year went by. He's got worse as the year went by. I think he peaked at MSI in spring, which I thought he looked pretty good then, but he just was on a downward trajectory with Flackid as the year went by. I don't know why XL would really grab him, given how he played really bad from summer all the way till Worlds was over. I don't know why they go like, you know what, I gotta have that guy. I would have probably grabbed someone else, but if they think there's something good with him, okay.
I think he'll turn it around.
I think he has the potential to. I'm not saying he can't, but it was looking really suspect.
Well, he was like the best support in the league in spring, and he played great at MSI. I did think it was more half of his games in summer, not all of them, and then playoffs and Worlds, so he did struggle. But I think it's more of, honestly, I think like there were some disagreements maybe. They didn't know like how to utilize him. Like
I just don't think he provided. I don't think he provided anything like the other supports did. Maybe in spring he just. I
don't know. A lot of people think he's like this, the support you can put on like Pike and shit, but not really. It's like some champs like Nunu, but for the most part, I don't think they knew his strengths pretty well. I think he'll turn it around. I just don't know how this pair. Well, if this, you know, bot lane pair does well, if they don't have good synergy, then
I think he's the better support for Patrick's playstyle, but I don't think they have the level of firepower they have from their bot lane with Mickey X and Patrick. I think this is a better partner for him, but I think it's not. I wouldn't say it's a weaker bot lane. I think it's about even because Mickey X didn't play that well either.
Well, so I want to know how much Xerxes paid them to get on this team, because
Otawamne wanted him. Otawamne was like, I want that guy.
Again, he had another Xerxes season where he started off great again, like looking like a new Xerxes, and then as the split went on, got worse and worse. That's every Xerxes season, and not only that, but anytime you try to put him on a roster with like what looks like 4 great players, he always fucking flops. It's like he does better on the worst teams.
So I think like because we're not ranking them right now. I like Excel's moves. It's just I'm not a hugest fan of the Targamas pickup, but other than that, I like their pickups. They're all essentially upgrades. Odoamne is better than Finn. Xerxes is better than Marcoon to some extent. Vetio's better than Nuke Duck. Thank God they got rid of that guy finally. And Patrick, he's always been there. And Targamas is about a side grade to Mickey X, given how their splits went. All right, let's go to Koi. As you guys know, Koi is pretty much just rogue. All right, so Jigenda. Okay, he played pretty bad in the LEC when I saw him. He played pretty bad. He's been on the ERLs for a while. I've not seen his ERL gameplay, but when he was in the LEC, he played pretty bad. I did.
I'll say, Vitality. So he was on Vitality's B team. They made the top 4 in EU Masters. So they were about on the same level as LDLC or whatever you call them, the other French team. I believe they actually made the finals over them or something. I don't remember it. Or actually, no, I believe it was it was BDS's B team that did, and then against Heretics, I believe. But he did good. I think he's like he's like how Cabashard did in LFL, I think last year, where then because of that he got a fantastic $1 million offer to play on Fnatic last year as their weak side top instead of Wonder, and he declined it just because he had that. He's like an idiot because he had fucking Carmine Corp, fucking what do you call it?
Fan base.
Well, no, that dedication, and then also because he wanted to play with Reckless, and you're never gonna get an offer like that ever again. Good job, buddy.
So my thing with Shigenda is the last time I saw him in the LEC, he played pretty bad. Hopefully he improved in the ERLs. Now, if you're grabbing Shigenda, is that technically a downgrade over Otawamne or an upgrade in certain styles? Because Otawamne allows you to play certain styles, but certain carry champions he's not really that good at. Now, does Jigenda offer you more carry potential in the top lane? Maybe. Does he synergize better with Malrong? I don't know. Now, taking
does.
But taking Otawamne out means that they don't have that veteran presence. That veteran presence. So that means the veteran presence will just be Larson. Larson's been their longest tenured player since they essentially joined the LEC. Now is Larson gonna be that guy to lead the team? I really don't know. He's a pretty quiet dude. Like Comp and Trimpy, one of the best bot lanes. I think the roster will work. They're still keeping 4/5 of the players that won the LEC. I think this will still be a top 2, top 3 roster. It all depends on how Shigenda is going to play. That's it. If he plays good, they're going to be one of the best teams. If not, they might, at worst, I could see them finishing 4th. At worst. Yeah. That's where I see
it. It's really will be 50-50 how he plays. I think it will be kind of like either Broken Blade, did on G2. Like, he looks great in a lot of games, have been and a lot as well, like 50-50, or it could just turn out disastrous for them. I think it could be like a Con or Nuggery moment when they went to FPX, how they did.
All right, let's go to SK Gaming, Warren's team. They have a Relevant who played on Misfits, who actually looked pretty good given the circumstances. Marcoon looked pretty good. Certus, I thought, had some few pop-up games. He had a nice, decent mid, jungle top. Exakick, their ADC, and Doss. Doss was randomly a guy that everyone just hated, just randomly. He played on Misfits as well, and he came in over Denick that one split, and then they put Doss out to bring back in Denick. It was a shit show in Misfits back in the day, guys. Why is Doss hated? I don't know. People say he's really toxic. I don't know, honestly.
I already get it, but I mean, there are better supports that aren't in LEC, definitely better supports, but he's definitely LEC material though, and but he was the bot lane for LDLC, I believe. So Yeah, and they definitely did fantastic. Exakick is and Jack Spectra are definitely going to be really hyped up coming into the year. Yeah, I think this is a good roster. I think Certus will improve and do very good, around these players, but I still think there are better options. I think in comparison to the rest of the mid laners, in the league, he's still one of the weakest. And I genuinely think fucking players like Tinones actually are just better than him at this rate.
Good God, this guy and his Brazilian love, even though he shits
on
no,
literally just Tinones. The other players I could give two shits about, all right?
What about my boy Talkers?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. So, I know it was rumored in the offseason for the LEC that SK Gaming were going to spend some money. If you guys actually thought that, you're on crack. This org is like never spent money on anything.
I mean, I'm sure Exakick and DOS cost a lot with how they did. Like, the LDLC just stomped, and they were expected to win EU Masters until BDS's B team then like randomly started doing well with Adam and Sheo, and then Heretics randomly won the gauntlet with. By the way, they almost lost to Unicorns of Love in a best of 5, and if Unicorns of Love won that, then they probably would have won as well. Like, both those teams were probably like the best. They just faced off against each other in the quarterfinals.
Also, yes, Intensive Flackett got kicked out of the LEC, so people are probably gonna wonder, where's Flackett? Flackett is playing on Team Heretics' academy team. That's where Flackett is at. and Flackett peaked in spring at Peak of the Messiah and then fell off a literal cliff. He took his duck and flew off the cliff and thought his duck could fly, and the duck didn't fly. They just sank.
I mean, I'm baffled he didn't go to. It's like, I understand he wants to try to play for a good team, but with how Jack Spectra did unless he falls off a cliff as well, you're not going to get play over him. Like, you could have went to BDS's, B team, and you definitely could have gotten a spot over Crowny later on. Like,
so that's my SK Gaming. I think they're just going to be a middle of the pack team like usual, out in the first round of playoffs, if they even make playoffs, because sometimes they're always that 7th team that doesn't make playoffs, actually. All right, let's go to BDS. So, Adam, remember that guy, Adam, that had that problems with Upset? The guy that played that Aurelia game earlier this year where he went like 0-10? Yeah, that guy. He's back, guys. I mean, I don't know why, personally. How do you say this? They all in for him, then he plays like shit, they kick him out, he goes to the academy, and he comes back. I just...
Yeah, well, I fucking... Adam can suck a dick, so I really didn't want him to come back, but to, credit where credit's due, he went to, their B team, and, he just started stomping everyone 1v9
like
there.
Totally different player when he's in the ERL system. Like,
he actually stomped everyone, and he carried them to almost winning their league over or
crazy,
maybe
dude?
Even they did, actually. I think they might have.
I remember when he first started playing for Fnatic, he had those... It was a span of like 2 weeks. He played like Olaf and a few of the champions, and he looked pretty good. And then he never really got back to that form. He was still stable. But the thing here is he has no idea of macro or anything. He just kind of runs around the map with his head cut off. I don't know why you bring him back, really.
Yeah.
I think they just brought him back because they don't really have any other options, and they're like, oh, we have you.
Yeah, it's a cheap, safe option. They're like, well, you stomped, and they're like, hey, maybe you'll do better.
Maybe he'll do better.
Maybe you'll do better if you have your some of your teammates with you as well from that. So
what's also crazy, guys, is Aggressivo, right? Or is it the jungler that TVS had?
Well,
was it Aggressivo? Syncroft, my bad. It was Syncroft.
No, Aggressivo was also actually doing all right under circumstances, like irrelevant, but
yeah. Syncroft, I think, played great on BDS.
But here's the thing: Sheo also did great with Adam in their B team. So I guess what they think is maybe they'll, if he had the chemistry of those teammates with how he did, and they bring it over to LEC, then he'll find his footing again. And with Crowny, I don't know why Lebrov has a fucking team. Advian still isn't back in the league, and at this point might not ever be now, but Lebrov got another spot again after how he played. He had like 2 games in playoffs where he actually, or no, not in playoffs, it was fucking in summer where he actually looked like a real support again. That's about it. Right.
All right, let's go to the rest of the team. You have Nuclear Int. I think he looked like shit throughout this whole year. I don't know why you still keep him. Crowny and LeBron. I don't know why. Crownshot is a weirdly overrated ADC. He is a okay ADC. There's so much love for this guy, and he's not that good. I don't know where this love comes from. Maybe it's because he talks to LS and talks to Nemesis. I don't fucking know. People love content and think that's actually a gameplay for some reason.
He's one of those ADCs who kicks ass in like the lower leagues, so then everybody's like, why the fuck is this guy not on an LEC team again? Get him on right now. So and then the team's like, okay, then they immediately put him back in LEC, and then he does, and then he looks solid in like, the first couple games and stuff, but then kind of just like it is not really there in games, and then he gets sent back down, and then everybody's like, oh, whatever, and then it's a repeated cycle. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is Crownshot's not gonna be a player you can pretty much win anything with. If that's their actual goal, but I don't think that's their goal with the roster like this. LeBron was like the worst support in the league. I don't know why anybody would pick this guy up. He looked like complete shit. I don't know, and we'll talk about Matt later. I don't know why. Like Matt, we're like, you know what, Cars, you look like shit on Vitality. Come back and play for our org. Yeah. All right, Vitality. Finishing up the bottom row, Photon, Bo, Perks, Neon, Kaiser. Photon was on T1's Challenger team. That's also where Berserker came from at one point. So they're like, you know what, T1, you know how to bring up players. We'll trust you guys know how to bring up this top laner. Not the worst idea, in my own personal opinion, because T1 have been proven they know how to bring up prospects, actually. Bo was the hyped up player that was on FPX, imported to get the LEC. They even said in the articles last year, remember, guys, Haru is just a stepping stone for Bo to come in. So Haru knew he only had one split. And Perks, I think he played well. I think Perks played well throughout the year. He was fine.
There's like a fucking axe behind him every game during summer. I
like when it was announced and basically saying, yeah, Haru's here for right now. He's going to be our jungler just for this split. Literally, they said just for this split.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God. Neon and Kaiser are going to be their bot lane. So Kaiser leaves Mad Lions. He's playing by Mad Lions forever. He's going to join Vitality. Kaiser is a massive upgrade over Lebrov. Neon is an upgrade over Karzi. I can say that. I think this team might do better. Might. It's a big might. I think Perks is good. I think Neon is fine for what they need. As long as Neon just doesn't auto-lose every single bot lane, which he didn't do this year, so I have faith in him this year. Kaiser will definitely be able to support Perks, I think, better than Lebrov did, because Lebrov was just sitting there fucking, I don't know, getting mega ass-fisted every single game.
I mean, I will say I don't mind them giving Nuclear Int another chance this year, but
over them their whole year then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, because with the promise
you're not paying this guy, you bastard.
Well, listen, the promise he showed, I don't mind them giving him another chance. However, over Zyro is a little weird. But anyway, Photon is an excellent, smart move. He played fantastic. He was probably the number one player. Him and the other top laner who then won the LCK Academy and MVP finals over him. Both probably like the best LCK Korean Academy players. And so I think this will work out really well as long as the language barrier isn't bad. He plays all champions really. And then Bo, of course, should work out great. And then Perks, did super well last year. And then I have faith that Kaiser will return to form, even if it's not like to the same level he used to be on, enough where it's sort of like how do I say sort of like Mickey X maybe on where he'll at least like be stable and like a veteran presence enough where he won't fucking 8 your games away like fucking Hill is saying. All right, at Worlds, how about that?
All right. My thing with Vitality's team is I like the upgrades the team has. It all depends on Bo. Like I think one of the biggest reasons
synergy.
it also depends on synergy with Perks. I mean, maybe they've been duo queuing together for a little bit, and maybe they've already developed it. They've been grooming Bo from earlier this year. So I think the roster just depends on Bo. If he's as good as he was on FPX, then I think the roster's gonna be pretty good.
And I think he will, because he was literally he literally looked like the best jungler, not just like one of the best junglers in the LPL, not just the best jungler in the LPL, but the best jungler in the world. All right, at that time. And then he has literally murdered everybody in solo queue in EU in this time. I think it will work out. And every other team that didn't take this gamble and also didn't sign him in spring so then he could end up playing in summer is just fucking has retardation, I think. I don't know why it took this long, but anyhow, Neon. Now, again, like as Warren said before, super teams, I guess that's why. Like, they don't want, because Bo's kind of a carry, Photon's kind of a carry, Perks isn't really anymore, so you could say that, but so they don't want like too many carries, I guess, because again, super teams always kind of flop, and we just saw DRX win Worlds, so I guess that's their mentality. But I mean, if you had fucking upset over Neon though, then holy fuck, this I would say I would actually predict Vitality to win the LEC if they had upset there.
Yeah, also guys, upset will not have a team. That's crazy. But we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, now we'll go to the top row. Astralis is Finn, 113, Dejor, Kabe, and Jenghoon. I think Jenghoon played good. I think Kabe was Kabe. That's not a good thing, guys. That's bad. Dejor was just Dejor, and they have Finn now. Now, they upgraded Vizichachi with Finn. Okay. I don't know who the fuck 1144228 is. He might be a fuck all gender.
Okay, listen, you could get Remy's dead corpse to play in top lane. It would be an upgrade over Vizichachi, so let's just stop. Okay, I'm going to hell for that joke.
I think Dejor had some carry games, but I really, what do you even say about Astralis though? Like, these smaller orgs or these lesser known orgs in the LEC are like, yeah, we want to be better this year. Then you build a roster like that, and then you go, no, you don't. I mean, Jenghoon's going to be off this org if he plays like he did earlier this year. I guarantee that. I have no words. I just think this is going to be probably like an 8th, 9th best team in the LEC. Honestly. Finn? Really? Finn pretty much looked like shit toward the latter end of the split, guys. He looked pretty off. I don't know why they keep making moves like this. Then they get mad at other people for calling them out for being bad. I don't get it. I just don't get it, honestly.
Yeah, I genuinely, I do not understand what their plan is. But 113 literally sucked. He was an Inter for Carmine
he was
Court.
The worst jungler in the ERLs.
Yes, but like he's 17, so he gets a pass. Come on over. It's like, and then he's like, and it's like he knows he sucks, so he's like he doesn't mind going to Astralis for 1 year and then having his career ruined. Just like get that money quickly.
Why couldn't Astralis just get Zanzara? You know, Zanzara is also bad, but you know, that'd be better than having who they probably have there. I don't know. Like, at least Zanzara can play Poppy.
Yeah. Yeah, at least he can maybe hack some games for you.
All right. Team Heretics. This is basically Misfits. Misfits got bought by Team Heretics. The roster is Evie, Yankos, Ruby, Jack Spectra, and Mursa. Evie used to play on Dead Nation Fuck Me. He was the first legit Japanese player to be imported into a major region. So that's good for him.
Yeah, so how... again, this is the same thing with Tenon still not being imported somehow. This isn't to say Evie doesn't deserve it. He's been doing fantastic for ever. Same thing with Yaron and Olvum, all right, and Steel. Steel's the same, you know, as good as River, I would say. It's like, I do not understand why it took this long, though. And now that he's like 27 years old, now you're doing it. Like, that is just shocking to me. But, you know, he deserves it, though. And I think it will actually work out well. So, yeah.
Well, Yankos, as you guys know, is going to be their franchise player. That's probably without a doubt. They paid good money for Yankos. I think G2 gave up on Yankos a little too soon. which is crazy to say. I think he had a pretty good year, all things considered. He had some off games, like everyone has some off games, but I still think he's one of the best junglers in the LEC. You could even argue he's the best jungler in the West. That's another argument you got for another day. I think that's fine that they have him. That's a good piece to have. I don't know who. I haven't seen Ruby play. I'm pretty sure he was in the ERLs or was in another league, right?
No, it was on Unicorns of Love, Sexy Edition. They won the German league again. Again, they almost beat Heretics, who won EU Masters in a 5 games. They took them to 5 games. They could have won it, and they probably would have won EU Masters if they then did with, of course, win some, legend.
Oh yeah. Legendary Inter.
He's good. It was mainly, I would say, his jungler and not even much as jungler, honestly, more just like Scarface in certain games when he would pop off, and then
if Evie has his pop off games like he normally does, and I've only ever seen him play at Worlds, and I thought he's always been a pretty good top laner, all things considered. I think that's Evie and Yankos, I think, will be a good top side duo. I don't know about the other guys. I mean, Mersa I know about. He was on Misfits. Mersa was off as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very like. I do think Ruby's
a dark horse team. This could be one of the dark horse teams.
No, I think they'll make playoffs, and it's just I don't know. I say Ruby's good. I would describe again the players that Cloud9 picked up, Diplex and Anemis or Amenis or whatever you call them.
Anemones? What the fuck is
Anemones? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I would say he's an improved version of Amenis or whatever, but I would say he's weaker than Diplex. So.
All right, let's go to Mad Lions. They have Chasey. Oh,
but yeah, you didn't mention Jack Spectra though.
He's a player.
Yeah, he's gonna if he literally single-handedly he did. That's why he's the only one on Heretics still. Him and then some games Zyru, he single-handedly carried Heretics to win EU Masters. He raped everybody. Literally took his dick out and raped all of them. He could possibly be the best ADC in this split. But at the same time, he's with Mersa, who just is Mersa. But at the same time, he also had he had White in or whatever his fucking name is. So,
All right, so yeah, Jack Spectra, the only thing I've heard about him right now is that people said he would be the better player to play over Flakkid as for their carry potential, which I think is good. I think people have this weird boner for Flakkid. If Flakkid plays well in the ERL and one of these teams have a pretty off split coming up, you can see Flakkid maybe getting an offer to join. I think he would join any team, honestly, to play. But if Jack Spectra is the better player to play right now, I think that's good. Mersa, man, some of these moves are like really Mersa. That's who you want again. I mean, yeah. They're probably like, hey, you're here. You made playoffs. You can stay. Mad Lions. They have Chasey, Elyoya, Niski, Karzi, and Hillisang. So Chasey was someone that played on X7 Esports, right?
Yeah, out of all the players, yeah, he did. They were in the top 8, or I believe they were in the top 8, I believe. Again, that team was very good. They faced a hard matchup in the quarterfinals, so they got knocked out there. I think 3-0'd, but yeah, they were overall. There wasn't like a standout on a team. Like all of them were good. Like I remember, what's that guy's name again? There was that support who's literally like 30 years old now, who was on the team. I'm gonna try to find what his name was, but he might have been actually like their best player. So, but anyway, yeah, he's good. I think he'll do well, but I don't think there's much like growth left. Same thing with Ruby. I think they're kind of like what you see in like the first like 9 games or something is what you'll get for the rest of time. I think with them in LEC. Yeah, it was Cussing or Kaising, whatever you call his name.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh God, jeez, what an old dude. What an old man. All right, so okay, the situation with Elyoya was. I was even saying, yeah, G2 are probably going to pick up Elyoya. Well, it turns out they almost did, but the offer apparently was for like $2-something million, and Mad Lions are like, can I get 4? And G2 were like, you can go fuck yourselves. And I'm being honest with you guys. I'm probably like, well, G2's cheap. First of all, no Western player on the history of this planet is worth $2 million. If you're paying $2 million for a Western player, take your org, burn it to the ground, and get the fuck out of the league. That's overpaying. That's literally inflating the salaries. LEC is not worth $2 million. If you're going to pay $2 million for a player, go to the LCK or the LPL and buy some big name players. LEC is not worth $2 million. I agree with G2 on that. That is too much money. Nebul's got $4 million. No, $4 million for LEC. No, fuck that shit. You can get something way better than that, or it's cheaper. Oh, Yoya, $4 million? No, no, that's why.
I think it would be worth it if he played like how he did in summer last year and
$4
spring.
Million? No, dude.
Well, $2 million for each. That's around like.
If you're gonna pay $4 million for a player, you better give me Canyon levels of gameplay. That's your minimum I need.
Yes, but I'm just saying this is the West. They throw around a lot of money, so this is, you can't think of it as much that way, all right? But I mean, with how much the shitty players that NA has overpaid, like Hooney and Sword Art, as
Hooney was a great player. What are you talking about?
Then Jesus Christ, and it isn't that. It's just like, again, summer and spring. I would understand. He was fantastic, definitely. Like he was on the struggling team, sort of with struggling mid laner in spring, mainly just the mid laner that dragged them down. But yeah, he still looked like
I'm not saying he's bad. The thing here is, I think. Damn, like, because the thing here is, I think the money they would have offered is not worth it. Because I know James brought this point up too, because he said the money doesn't matter if there's a salary cap, but that's not the point. James is watching this. The point is if I'm giving you that much money for that player needs to play really good.
Okay, but okay, here's the thing. No, you have to. Elyoya, okay, you have to look at the rest of the league. Malrain he's great, but he has like one play style. Basically, he's a one-dimensional player, and so Elyoya is kind of better than him. Xerxes is definitely better than Marcoon, yeah. Sheo, yeah. Bo, you don't know how it's going to turn out. 1-1-3, yes. Yankos is getting up there in age, and he regressed this year. So it's the same thing, kind of like with Bjergsen when he retired, become a coach, and then Jensen kind of became the best mid laner automatically in the off season. With Team Liquid, that's why they gave him that contract. Razork, yes. Yike or whatever, you don't know how it's going to turn out either. So just based off of that, he's probably coming into the season, just like Jensen prior when Bjergsen retired the first time, the best jungler. And he also has just the most well-rounded play style overall. He can play like every kind of in every meta, and he's also still very young. He's like 20 or something. So you have to think of it that way.
The thing here is the money that they would have paid for him, I don't think would have been really worth it. I think
you're not going to get a player like Canyon though to come to your team here. Probably.
Yes, you can. All you do, go over there, open some top ramen.
Jesus fuck. So is Chaz going to join this or no?
No, I don't like black people. That's how it works on here. You know, Niski. The thing here is, guys. Fuck.
He was supposed to go to BDS. Which I think would have worked better for both sides, honestly. But
the thing here is, guys, is Mad Lions wanted to get rid of Niski. You know how players hear that their org wants to get rid of them? That usually never pans out very well. Usually that player leaves by the end of the year. I think Niski is at worst a top 5 LEC mid. Playoffs wise, he'll probably not do very well because playoffs in the LEC are much harder than the playoffs in the LCS. I think we know that by this point. Now I think Niski and Elyoya will be the core you're building around. Karzi's trash. I don't know. Mad could have kept Unforgiven. They had the better ADC. Mad could have probably got upset. Mad could have maybe Reckless would have been better for them. They took the worst ADC in the league besides Xmatty. Karzi was trash. They had Unforgiven. They're like, you know what, Karzi, you played like dog shit the whole year. I mean, let's take you back. Oh, this is why these orgs are stupid. Karzi looked like the worst ADC. Why would you bring him back? He inherently would bring your team down. He inherently does. People are like, he's a good shot calling ADC, target selection. You can get anybody to do that.
I would unironically take Forgiven over him.
Both? Maybe they'll both. I mean, what if you had a Unforgiven bot lane? That'd be fucking bad. Hylissing, Hylissing is literally one split, best support, next split, worst support. Literally, I know people are in the comment section going, Hillsing's not a coin flip support. Yes, he is. You're actually blind and you don't watch any fucking games. I've seen this guy play for fucking 7 years. This guy's a coin flip support. I don't think there's any year he's been stable all the way through, except for maybe 2018 when he went to the finals that year. I like the Mad Lions roster. I just don't like the cards he pick up. They might finish top 4, maybe, probably top 5. I don't know. I think Carsey's a massive downgrade of Unforgiven. Hillsing and Kaiser are pretty much even, just toss a coin, given the what day. Niski can compete. El Yoya is one of the best junglers. It's all just depending on how, if Carsey can come back to form, which is not good to be, like, I think Sean said it earlier, if Carsey can play as good as Wild Turtle, they'll be fine. That's bad. It's actually horrible if they do. That's pretty much it with Mad. Fnatic had the best ADC outside of Comp in their team. They had upset. They're like, you know what? Reckless. I know you've left us like twice. How about you just come back a third time? Right?
Yeah.
Because third time's the charm?
God. This is like, I know nobody watches that garbage now that it's dead, but God, there was like this player in the Overwatch League called Fissure or whatever, who went on 2 separate teams who became top contenders, and then right before the championship tournament, the finals, at the end of the year, he left them and then fucked them over, and he still kept getting team offers and then left them again, and they would just not learn. This is like this again, like with Fnatic, like. So you have Upset, who became literally the best ADC in the league by far, and then you're gonna kick him for Reckless, who played like shit in LFL in summer, just because you feel bad for him, I guess. And Upset had looked great with Ruckus, or how do you pronounce his name, and fucking. In the Worlds games they played together in, he looked better than with Hillsing whole fucking year. Also, you're fucking muted if you didn't know, but
No. Okay, Wonder, I think, came back to form. I think he proved people wrong because people thought he was just done. I think Wonder did a good job this year. Razork and Humanoid have the worst mid jungle synergy by far. Like, they're not on the same page ever. Like, Humanoid kind of played well at Worlds, but throughout the whole year, Humanoid been a massive disappointment. Rux played 2 good games, and Fnatic are like, you know what? You're in. This man played 2 games.
No, but it's not just that. He's been playing amazing in their team for their academy team. So, and they needed. Again, it's sad to see, but they needed to move on from Hillsing eventually.
God. Reckless, I don't know how he played with Carmine Corp. I heard he played okay, which is not good to hear.
Well, no, he played to Reckless standards in Spring. They didn't win LFL, but then they won EU Masters against. Right? No, they didn't win. He didn't win in LFL. They didn't win in Spring. Like, again, there's each regional tournament and championship. They didn't win that, but they were top 2. Yeah. They were top 2 or top 3, so they qualify for EU Masters with like Vitality and LDLC, and then them and LDLC rematching in the finals and EU Masters in Spring, which LDLC beat them in LFL like 3-2 or something, but then they beat them 3-1 there, so they won EU Masters, which is the main thing. In summer though, he played like shit, honestly, outside of the odd game, like that game he got a pentakill in. He played like a mediocre or just average as fuck, didn't do anything special, kind of just like gave up, and then they barely even made playoffs in LFL, got like 6th place, and then they got eliminated first round. And yeah, and 1-1-3 was honestly also like the biggest reason for that fucking Inter. Now he's on a Astralis. What a fucker.
That's my thing with Fnatic, guys. I'm just not happy. I mean, Rux, I think, played well at Worlds when he got a chance, but Reckless over, unless Upset wanted to just directly not play and he just didn't want to be on the team, that's one thing. But I mean, there was much better options.
It's so confusing.
Like, I would argue this makes them worse. You could make an argument for that, but they did keep a core of players that did somewhat well.
I'm sorry. Either you do Upset and Ruckus, or you do Reckless and Hillsing. One of the two. You don't do this.
Yeah, God, they could have themselves got Unforgiven. They could have got Unforgiven if they wanted to.
Yeah,
They
that
didn't.
would have
They
been
were
better.
you're like, you know what? Let's just dust off this old
Yeah.
Reckless.
Like, what were they thinking? They're like, we have one of the best ADCs in the world right now. All right, let's throw him to the trash show and bring back Reckless instead. We're like, oh, okay. Well, Reckless and Hylissane have played with each other for like fucking 8 years, so at least they got that chemistry. Now let's throw Hylissane away now.
I think Hylissane genuinely wanted to leave. I mean, unless he didn't want to play with Reckless anymore. I'm pretty sure they offered Hylissane to stay. I'm pretty sure they did, but he was.
I don't know. I think Hylissane has like 2 years left.
You guys said that 2 years. I hate you guys so much. All right.
Well, no, I mean playing to like what I mean is this is what I mean. Players can play for as long as they want. Like we've seen it with like Afromu. What I meant by that is as in like meaningful game where you have any chance at like winning the championship. I think this year was Hylisane's last year, as I said 2 years ago when I said he had like 2 years left. Now I think he's kind of like I don't see him ever like. It's the same thing with like Miffy when he joined Origin and TSM and all that. And then he realized that and became a coach, which Hylissane could have. But yeah, I guess he wants to keep playing. But yeah, I honestly don't think this Mad Lions team is gonna make Worlds either. I think that's done.
Making Worlds. We're a little too far away from that. This is winning Spring.
Yeah.
All right, last team we have is G2. Bitch, Yike, Caps, Hansama, Mickey X. I mean, I don't know who the fuck Yike is. So
Yike is the LDLC jungler.
Broken Blade looked pretty bad most of the year. I don't know why they keep him.
I imagine, yeah, Yike was like the best player on LDLC who won both LFLs this year. And again, they've been like the best LFL team for ages, kind of like that Oregon team, kind of with Carmine Corp. Yeah, he won both of those. They almost won EU Masters both times, but didn't this year.
So the thing here, guys, now people say that Caps runs the show because Caps had already re-signed with G2 until the end of 2024. So he re-signed earlier last year for that contract.
I guess.
So maybe Caps was like, I don't want to play with Yankos anymore. I don't know. Because maybe they feel like they hit a peak with that kind of duo.
Yeah, I didn't think their synergy was off. They needed to move on, but
yeah. Caps being there, it's fine. I think that's okay.
I guess.
Caps still play pretty good.
Yeah, but anyway, Yike was the best player in LDLC, but also, remember, who was his mid laner again, MSK? I want you to say his name.
Is Ica?
Yeah, imagine going from Ica to Caps.
That's a pretty big upgrade, I would say that.
Yeah.
Hansama, Hansama played okay on Team Liquid earlier this year. Like it's crazy.
He's literally just getting this because they're like, we're giving him a pass because it was the Team Liquid disaster.
It was just NA just ruining him is probably what they're thinking. I think Hansama looked pretty okay. Not what Team Liquid was paying this guy to play, but it's crazy how he played the way he did on Team Liquid, and he's going to be on G2. That is ridiculous. Mickey X was like, you know what? I'm gonna explore my options. Goes to XL. Fails there and goes back to G2. And Mickey X didn't really play that well himself, but Hansama and Mickey X played together on Misfits before in 2018. Yeah. So
I definitely think the fact that G2 picked Flackid last year over Hansama, Reckless, and Jack Spectra is and now where all the players have landed this year is just. What the fuck were they doing last offseason with that move?
Well, they had Dylan Falco manning the moves. I don't know where G2's roster finishes up. I don't know. I think maybe they'll be top 4. They're usually always top 4. They're usually never anything lower than that. I just don't know how Yike is going to perform. Broken Blade looked pretty bad this year. I mean, he was turbo sprinting it.
Again, he's like the best jungler you could have possibly gotten from the just the whole bottom league circuit thing.
They could have gotten fucking what was it, Gilius? they got Gilius. You sell your spot.
They could have got Zanzara,
You get yourself out the car.
Imagine if they kept Zanzara on Heretics. They would have had a team of literally a Japanese player, a Russian player, and a Korean player.
But EU never gets trashed on for their imports, even though they literally have multiple players on different regions.
Yes, again, every single thing EU fans have ever trashed on NA for, they literally do the same thing. It's literally the Xbox versus PlayStation fucking console war shit all over again, where PlayStation does the exact same shit Xbox does 24/7, if not worse, but only Xbox gets shit on. It's hilarious.
Yep.
It's the same shit again.
All right, so that wraps up our LEC 2023 Spring Split teams. Now we're going to talk about the LCS teams. So, this was the big one. I guess you could say the biggest one to come out. Jensen leaving Cloud9 because we knew early on Cloud9 was going to move on from him, and he's going to play for Dignitas.
Yeah.
Jensen
So they officially are making their roster announcement, Cloud9 on the 23rd. They announced that on the Stratus thing.
Sources, mid laner Jensen has reached a verbal agreement with Dignitas in the LCS. Jensen joining Dignitas. Never thought I'd say that in my life. Those words I never thought would even come out of my mouth.
I think it's genuinely, again, unless Dignitas is, it honestly feels like Dignitas is like their system. Like, as much as meme the systems with Cloud9, it actually seems like their fucking systems in place for the last 3 years are just fundamentally flawed and need to be changed no matter who they sign. But unlike all the other teams in the league, even fucking Immortals. But otherwise, yeah, no, I think this is actually a good move for him.
He's probably the best mid laner they've ever played for their org.
Yes, because I again, as they could have done the last 2 years, I think, yeah, just the team that Dignitas can build around him with free agents, with Santorin, yeah, I think they can make worlds.
They should probably think about doing well in spring first, I think.
Huh.
How about just having a 500 record?
They have they have Armut, Santorin, Jensen. I don't like Spawn really,
Spawn
and I don't really
Ignar.
Yeah, I don't really like their bot lane. Like I think again, they could have got an Afro move back. I think that would have been better. And then I think they could have. There are just loads of ADCs out there in the NA circuit that deserve more of a chance, in my opinion. That would be better, more upside. I mean.
All right, so Dig's roster is Armut, Santorin, Jensen, Spawn, and Ignar. I don't know what people were smoking when they were telling me this shit, but Armut did not play good in the LEC. He looked bad. But he's an upgrade over Gamsu and Whom, so I guess Santorin, I think looked pretty good on Team Liquid despite fucking Bjergsen fucking doing whatever
he was their best player.
Santorin's a massive upgrade over Zayu. Jensen did not play well in spring. People don't say he played pretty bad. He played kind of clutch in the playoffs, but he still wasn't playing good. And at Worlds, he got mega gapped by everybody.
Yeah, again,
Humanoid.
How did people actually think he was going to stay on Cloud9 like this bitch above me?
Me? Hello?
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm sorry. This was always just going to be for the split.
I think the thing here is people got to factor in, if you play badly on a top tier org at any point, they just get rid of you. That's just how top tier orgs function. You know, doesn't matter if they like you. Like I might like you, but I want to win, so you can get the fuck off. I'm gonna go change you out. That's how it works with top tier.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, maybe this could be now that Double Lift, got fucked the last second by Unforgiven. Which, I mean, thank God though, keep that guy out of the league. I mean, this could be his or Sneaky's last chance to try to get back into LCS again with Dignitas over Spawn. And they could have joined it just like Santorin and Jensen. They could have, and Impact and Ssumday. They could have, and Ignar and all that. They could have joined Dignitas for the last 2 years. They just didn't. But they could have built this team all along. But do you think that's a possibility though? That Dig last second will get Double Lift or Sneaky instead of doing Spawn? I don't think
Double Lift as a player would ever join Dig ever.
Well, with Jensen and Santorin, okay.
I mean, they had those issues before where Double Lift thought that Jensen was the one that got him off Team Liquid when they were having those issues. So
Double Lift literally said he wanted them to keep the 2018 roster together instead of they wanted to keep X-Miffy, Pobelter, Impact.
Double Lift is retarded. Double Lift is
he wanted to actually keep Ole instead of getting Core JJ.
What?
Double Lift is not smart if you doesn't have the answer. Doublelift also suggested Broxa and got mad at Team Liquid for kicking Xmithy when they lost in 2018.
Who record JJ?
Ole. But again, it's because he has a bias, a boner for his friends, and we all saw in that. Again, I don't know if you watched the 7 Days Out documentary episode of, about that.
No, I haven't finished it, but I watched the first half hour.
You could definitely see they're best players, especially after all that. So that's probably why he just has Doublelift always just has a bias for his friends playing always.
All right.
That doesn't make you the smartest player in the world. Yeah. I hope he knows that.
I think Spawn had a few okay games. I don't know. I haven't seen much from him in the LCS to really judge him. He had a few okay Jinx games, but I mean, when Dig were doing their moves earlier this year in the summer split, that was literally just so they could salvage their season. They still ended up not making playoffs. I think for Dig, Worlds shouldn't even be a thought in people's mind for Dig. How about doing well in spring? How about we start baby steps first?
Well, Spawn is kind of like he's like an NA. What they think of him as, at least like Kabe, where he'll at least play competent each game. He won't unlike Neo, he's not like a high risk, high reward player each game. He's like a low risk, mid reward type player, I would say.
I think the other issue with Dig as an org in general is I think people are looking at the roster and not looking at the recent games these guys have played. I think depending on if all the rosters shape up the way I think they're going to shape up based on what I've seen so far, this maybe going to be like a 5th, 4th roster.
Okay. Do you think Armu is going to be able to play more champions better in NA instead of EU?
He might actually pop up in the LCS, given the fact that LCS is dog shit. He might actually be one of the best top laners here. He might be even a top 4 LCS top laner here.
I could see this go into like a Kennen meta and him doing well in that champ.
I think Dig also should try and get more wins than losses usually.
Well, no, they need to change up their entire system. They need to fire everybody in their coaching staff and just change up their systems. Actually, that's their big issue, I think.
Also, they should probably not always average out as many wins as they do losses. That's another big thing. That's bad.
Yeah, but again, like they were about to sell their slot to Sentinels before that deal fell through from a legal reason. So now the fucking and now they're spending this. But anyway, I did not want to see Dignitas even though it's there's esports orgs out there with more money who'd be more competitive. I don't want to see Dignitas or Immortals leave because they're been long stays with the history. I'd rather see Golden Guardians fucking leave. All right,
neither of those orgs have provided anything though. If Dig left, dude, I promise you, no one would care.
But I'm just saying if they started trying and changed up ownership or their structure and just keep the brand and then actually try with the player signing, then it would be fixed and. They did
as
plan A.
It's never that easy.
But they did the first step. Now they actually signed real players. Now that's step 1.
They signed real players. You saying Biofrost wasn't a real player?
Yes. Immortals, they're still working on step 1 because they're keeping revenge. So they clearly haven't learned.
You're on step 2 now. Actually, win more games than you average out losses. It's a start there. If they can get more wins and losses, that means not going 9-9 or finishing. I don't know. What did they finish last split? 3-15? Okay.
Yeah.
3-15. Any figures.
Listen, I think they really did Hoon dirty. He was stomping them.
I fucking hate you.
Were they the worst team? Or were
they were by far the worst team.
They were competing with Immortals to be the worst team. They were going neck and neck. Each week.
Well, honestly, no, it was more Golden Guardians, but they had those extra wins, so they made playoffs, even though Immortals should have. But
they had one more win. One.
Yeah.
No extra. They had one more.
All it takes is one win, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I didn't say I'm just saying. Anyway, it's almost like
it's fucking bastard.
It's almost like you shouldn't sign Blue after he played the worst in EU. Wow.
But Warren said SK Gaming was good.
And now they're gonna sign 113 next year after he does the worst in EU all year.
Also, Warren's the same person that kept saying DRX was fraud until the finals, where he had to eat crow. He still eat crow. DRX ain't that good. top 4. Oh, they're too proud.
Yeah, they weren't at first, but by the time they got to play, the top 8, they were like, because EDG was shit, so they were obviously gonna beat them. And then after how they looked and after how Gen G looked, yeah, I figured they would beat them. And then at that point, I'm like, yeah, I have faith they'll complete. Although I don't know why I predicted T1 in like the stream. I meant to say DRX.
That's the right thing to do.
No. I think the reason why is because when we do these streams, I don't want to look stupid, so I just say the safe choice. But then before the match starts, I'm like, wait, no, sorry, DRX. To myself.
No, the thing here is T1 is the right option to pick. They played insanely well.
No, DRX played better.
DRX just had the momentum. Sometimes
that's all it really was.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought they would win, just because of momentum.
The thing here is people got to factor in. This happened with Damwon last year. Damwon finished second place last year too, and then T1 finished in second place this year at both MSI and Worlds. It's crazy.
Plus it felt like a Disney story where it's like Death's last run.
Yeah,
but it is like
also intensive. I could definitely see that because that's NA coaches.
Yeah.
All right, so. Jensen joining Dignitas. I like Jensen. I met the guy, talked to the guy. I think he's great. I think this past split was bad from him. If he doesn't play well this year on Dig, I don't think he gets a team for 2024, actually. But I think people are slightly overrating this roster. I think it's okay, but I gotta see them play. I mean, going off what we just saw these players, that looks average at best, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Ssumday. Ssumday was crowned 100 Thesis Hall of Fame player, as he should have. He'd been literally with them since they became an org in general in the LCS. He played with them for all these years, all these splits, won a title, with them, went to Worlds, 3 times with them. He, by what I've seen so far, he's joining Evil Geniuses. He's finally gonna leave and join Evil Geniuses.
That is.
So that would be an upgrade over Impact. I think Ssumday played really well this year, honestly.
Ssumday was like the best top this year.
I don't know how he never gets MVP nominations. The only time he did was in 2018 when he was like one of the best top laners in the league.
Who won MVP again this year?
This year? This past split?
This split besides Summit, it was, I believe.
Oh, who won MVP this past split? I forgot, honestly.
Wait, was it
an Evil Geniuses player?
I was thinking.
I swear,
so,
who won?
Was it JoJo? It wasn't JoJo, right?
No, it was not JoJo. It was fucking.
Let me look it up right now. MVP Summer LCS. Who won MVP earlier this year?
Blabber
did. How?
No, it was Inspired. It was Inspired, I believe.
Inspired won it in spring.
No, he won it in summer.
No, Inspired won in spring.
No, Blabber won Finals MVP, I believe you're talking about.
Blabber's won Finals.
Yeah, Inspired won it in the regular season this year, and then in spring it was Summit. Remember that?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and then I believe Danny won Finals MVP in spring.
You're right. Yeah. Oh no, Inspired's a fine player to pick. He played great.
So I honestly think him and Ssumday should have tied, but that's just me.
So, if anyone who's fans of 100 Thieves. The roster for Evil Geniuses that he's leaving for is Ssumday, Inspired, JoJo, PR, FBI, and Vulcan. That looks like a top 4 roster right there. If FBI can come back to form, that is probably a roster you're like, okay, that can get 10 for a title.
Like I said, I think if he's better on this team, it was more of a system in 100 Thieves because
who he holding it back?
Holding back, plus none of them talking to each other. You can't you can't literally have to carry the whole game, and you need people to like assist you and shit, and no one's doing anything. You got Aberdaggy just like misleading, man. You got Closer doing what the fuck he is in the jungle. Ssumday trying to keep the top from crumbling, and who he died every 5 fucking minutes. Like,
okay. So where's who he going?
Back to Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians.
All right.
Play with Stixxay.
Wait, they're keeping Stixxay?
As of now, they're keeping. It looks like they're keeping.
Why would Stixxay plays like a grandpa with Alzheimer's? Stixxay is trash. Stixxay is legitimately garbage.
I don't know. Listen, if anybody tells you that you can't accomplish anything in life, just remember, people, that Stixxay has played on CLG for literally 5 years straight before finally getting replaced. and is now going to play for Golden Guardians as their starter for a third year straight. Just remember, outside of the games with Lost. So just remember that you can accomplish anything as long as you have the contacts.
Yeah, not the actual play, because this Ssumday plays like a grandma with Crystal 4 fucking dementia. He's bad. He's legitimately bad. Like I'm happy for Ssumday. I mean he's did everything he probably can for the 100 Thieves org. I mean,
yeah,
like there's nothing else you can accomplish there. Like back to back finals, won a trophy, 3 times worlds. Constantly kind of top 4. He gave him their best record earlier this year, 14-4. There's nothing else he can really do.
Yeah. Again, like I give Ssumday like again, give him his due credit. Like again, he's stayed on an org for as long for the amount, just one org for the same amount of time as players like fucking Bjergsen.
What else was it? No, yeah, the rosters are still kind of being finalized. That's just one I've seen from the Travis video. I already did my response video to it. It should be up in like tomorrow or earliest. But with the 100 Thieves, that 100 Thieves roster, Tenacity, Closer, Bjergsen, Doublelift, and Busio. Now, Spica, if he doesn't go with 100 Thieves, he'll go to FlyQuest because he's got a pretty big offer.
I thought Unforgiven was now replacing Doublelift.
The thing here is he might be playing for their academy team.
What?
I'll
say
decisions.
Well, they're probably competing for the spot. This is actually this is what I think. They'll give Doublelift like the first at least half of spring because they don't want to just fuck him over after making the agreement. They don't want to but it's sort of like in the same way of Soul with Solo. Then they'll like slowly start to put Unforgiven in as long as Doublelift just doesn't randomly pop off or Unforgiven is playing worse than him. I think that's what will happen. But I will say this is why again Nemesis fucking memed before like how he got an offer from an academy team on his stream, but it's like this is why you make because if you're remember this is academy coach, not the org itself, like the LCS org. This is just the academy coaches like making offers to like players to try to get them to play for their academy teams, and it's like you never know what will happen. You have to at least try. Like I'm sure nobody thought like Unforgiven would fucking sign with an NA academy team, but here we are because of the circumstances. You have to at least try.
But this man makes sense on some fronts because we know how spring goes. If spring fails for some of these teams, they're gonna want to pick him up. Yep. And then they could just sell him. So it's not the worst move ever because if you pick him up for cheap, because Mad Lions are going to get Mad Lions need money. They're going to offer him 100 Thieves. They'll pay you some money for him. Then if a team kind of tanks in spring, he's playing. We know Unforgiven is a good player. Another LCS will just buy him. So they get the benefit of both worlds. They get Doublelift, essentially a franchise player, kinda for the time being. And if Doublelift tanks, potentially they have Unforgiven themselves. It's going to work out. I mean, that's a good plan. The thing here is, why would you pick Spica over Closer? I don't know how that would ever work. Way. Like, I get it. They have synergy. That's cool. But Closer is way better than Spica. Like, it's not even
Closer was like this. Yeah, he was the second best jungler last year besides Inspired.
He was literally about as good as Inspired was.
But my thing is, does Closer want to stay with 100 Seeds, though? That's the real
I think he's the only from what we know, he's the only player that they want to keep. Potentially.
But they
want to keep him, but does he want to stay with them?
That's the question.
Okay, if you put him around Doublelift and Bjergsen, he might go, yeah, let's go, dude. Let's do this.
Oh my god!
He might go.
You failed that accent.
Well, let's go to the gulag.
Why the fuck did he kind of sound like Fez when Fez tried to sound Italian from that 70 show?
He kind of sounds like pop culture corner if he had a higher pitch voice instead of deeper. That's what he would sound like.
Oh Jesus!
Oh god! Yeah, let's go to the gulag, boys. I want to get fucked in the ass by Ssumday.
No, that's what he sound like. He sound like that motherfucker from Modern Warfare 2. You fucking the original one, not this bullshit.
Yeah,
now. That's what you sound like. You sound like that fucking Russian dude.
Hey Nico, let's go bowling.
Yes. I love Griffin on 4. Oh, that was a good game.
So that's my thing, guys. I mean, Ssumday leaving 100 Thieves makes sense. I mean, we knew this roster wasn't gonna be all together by the end of this year. I mean, that was pretty well, thought of. I mean,
by the end of the LCS final,
you're like, yep, this is done.
Are they just signing the players with like the most viewers on their Twitch streams? Is this 100 Thieves now?
I mean, here's the thing: 100 Thieves are always the org that we got a good academy system. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah.
This is like when T1 signed Suck a Noodle for Valorant.
If you have a name called Suck a Noodle, you need to stop playing video games.
What? He won the CS:GO major from Cloud9. Remember?
So my thing here is. Orgs are always talking about their academy prospects. 100 Thieves always talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have faith in them, finally play them. If you think they're that good, you play them. If they're that good,
well come on, man. They can't play Will because he's black.
They were supposed to play Tenacity this year, 6-man roster. They gave Tenacity 2 lock-in games. He didn't play LCS games, people.
Yeah, and that was actually like bullshit.
To be fair,
because
Ssumday did bounce back because they brought Tenacity in because Ssumday was sucking last year. They brought him in for that. Ssumday actually bounced back really hard.
They still did him dirty not to play him at least a few LCS games, but
Papa Smithy's like kind of black, so he's like, I can't have the white man getting above me in this org.
He can't play Will because he's black. All right, so they can't have that.
They got rid of who I hope Busio can play with Doublelift, and Doublelift's a hard guy to play with in lane, people. I hope Doublelift doesn't wreck Busio's mentality in lane. I hope he doesn't.
He literally said he doesn't want to play with any NA support because they're trash. That's what he said when he.
Literally what he said verbatim.
Yeah, that's what he said when he was trying to look for a team and failed. It's like, you do realize there are good NA supports out there, right? And Busio's one of them. So if Busio plays like shit, I'm honestly going to blame it on Doublelift. I mean, I'm sorry. How does this guy get back on a fucking LCS team? I am so fucking. He's gonna be like 40 years old, and he's gonna get on another team somehow. Still, this is insane. Oh my fucking god! Just put Sneaky on Dignitas at this point. Let's have all the old people from retirement come back to LCS. That man is not
coming back. I know you love Sneaky, you fucking weirdo, but he is not coming back.
Well, I mean, I love him as a player. He definitely has.
Dude.
He definitely has some takes that are a little. He definitely says some. He says some things that are definitely. I mean, I don't know. That's all I'll say. I mean, he was a substitute. Before he joined Cloud9, he was a substitute for Dignitas for like 2 months.
He is fine with his life fucking his girlfriend and turning into a woman.
What?
He was robbed of that cosplay competition, I'm saying.
Huh. Well, that's the thing there with Ssumday. FBI. I'm glad FBI gets a team. I think people were not too harsh on him. I think he definitely deserved the criticism he got. But, remember, people understand bot lane is a lane where if you're supporting, you aren't like in sync, it looks really bad.
Yeah, but who he had some good plays on a Moo after he died 10 times, so he's better.
It looked good on Leona when he ran in with no eyes.
Yeah,
he's Asian, so his eyes are like this anyway. So
what? Did you see his Soraka game? So man,
so those Leona games. You see, you're at Worlds where they're playing up against Flying Chinks, and he threw his Amumu ult and completely whiffed.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm just sitting there like, yep, okay.
Yeah, we're going home.
CFO was just the best team that tournament.
Exactly. You're right. They won. They literally lost every game after that. Tanks so hard.
Yeah, but sadly there was like a glitch in the system, so
nope. They can't see. They literally couldn't see the fucking keyboards.
Yeah, the glitch would call who he played. Playing champions where all he missed. Like, dude, he was just it was like, fuck, you're sitting there, you're rooting for 100 C's knowing, like...
It's like you're watching a legitimate train wreck. You know it's going to crash.
I was just hoping for a win. I was like, can I just get a win? Thank you.
Yeah,
My man is begging. Literally, every 100 Thieves player, they were like sniffing cocaine because they could not hit ults. Closer missed every ult. Remember when... Who's the jungler for RNG? It was Wei, right? Remember when he's playing Vi and he leaped in with his ult and Abadage, Zanya's, when he has a Victor gravity field? I was like, oh my god. So bad. Why would you Zanya if we have a gravity field? It'll just stop her.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally how. Oh fuck! They weren't even using their abilities right. If your team can't even use their buttons correct, just stop. Get off the team. Just unplug the computer.
Okay, hey, who do you think is gonna have a harder language barrier? Photon and Bow for Vitality, or Eevee and Ruby for Heretics?
Shit, I don't know, honestly. Wait, both.
Imagine trying to communicate with Eevee.
They don't speak the same though. Like Bo and Chase. Wait, Bo and Photon.
Eevee will just communicate by doing his thumbs up. That's all he'll do.
Well, you know, because it's probably gonna be worse on Vitality. Bo is Chinese and Photon is Korean. They're not.
Actually, I forgot. Yeah, Eevee actually, he does.
He doesn't know English. He knows if he's spoken.
Yeah,
Dragon
he
Ball
does
Z
know
terms.
some English because in game before every game starts, he's like blank. I love you so much, biggest fan before the game starts.
What if they spoke their rap language to each other?
Yeah.
What if they talk like Dragon Ball Z characters? No, my God!
I really wish Bo was on Heretics instead, so we could have Japanese, Chinese, and Korean player all playing on
all the same team. Wait, okay, so you'll be missing Abadage next year. I don't know, man. Like, I personally would have gotten rid of him over Bjergsen. At least not Bjergsen. Get you someone else. Like Bjergsen played about as well as Abadage did. So are you really getting anything that much better? Because they want to win LCS. Does Bjergsen give you that chance to win LCS? I mean, I don't know. I really don't
know, but at this point, you can't go.
You can't keep the same roster.
The issue is you can't go back to Abadage. That's the sad part. You can't go back to him because you saw how mentally fucked up he was.
Jensen and Doublelift aren't gonna play on the same team together anymore. That's not gonna happen.
But Abadage fucking played like he was just bending over doggy style. Jesus Christ.
And look, I want to see Sean play up against fucking Chovy and say the same shit.
Oh yeah.
Imagine Sean playing up against Chovy.
Well, yeah, I think Cloud9's gonna win Worlds this year because they have Deplex on their team, and he's German and Russian. That's a deadly combo. Just ask the Jews.
Okay.
Right. Immediately gets banned off Twitch the next day.
No, you get banned because it's like your channel. You ever scared.
Also, Dardock went from coaching an LCS team to now playing for a college team, so that's good.
Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up all the rumors. The last thing to talk about is Sean's favorite team. He loves this guy, TSM. TSM have been having some issues lately.
Hey, I wonder who called years ago saying that their friend works for TSM, and I revealed
that never happened. Ever.
Yes. Who was it again that said that FTX was doing fraudulent shit, and that's what happened.
Sean did this shit. Here, I'm going to show you guys what Sean did. It's exactly what he's basically the Geekosity of league rumors. That's literally what Sean is.
Fuck off! Don't compare me to Geekosity.
This is Sean's source.
You fucking idiot.
No, but MSK, you remember I said, like, you asked me about crypto. I said it's not good. It's not good when a cup just comes out of nowhere and starts doing it.
And look at the reply below. Stupid cracker award. Fuck you. You got ratioed.
TSM partnered up with FTX for a big, huge sponsorship deal. Now, the caveat with that is FTX is also a sponsor of the LCS. Now, the LCS is going to be fine because that's owned by Riot and they're owned by Tencent, and Tencent could just wash away the money problem. The TSM, that's a bit different.
Taiwan, they're washing away.
I don't like you. Taiwan number one. So TSM finally removed the FTX official from the logo. Now, this is the thing. For TSM, they had a TSM FTX jersey. I managed to get one before that went away. So that is a collector item I own by myself. I should have probably got the white jersey. Now they partnered up with the Wongdong
Brazil and India through their name, so it's still bad,
They now partnered up with the Wongdong Ching Chong anime, My Hero Academia, which is fine. I love the anime. So this was their This was their response to the FTX bankruptcy situation. After monitoring the evolving situation and discussing internally, we're suspending our partnership with FTX effective immediately. This means that FTX branding will no longer appear on any of our org team and player social media profiles and will also be removed from our player jerseys. This process may take some time to complete as some social platforms have made changes to their product features. TSM is a strong, profitable, and stable organization.
That is bullshit.
With forecast profitability this year, next year, and beyond. The current situation with FTX does not affect any part of TSM's operating plan, which was earlier set this year. You know what? As they say that, they fired their whole academy roster.
Yeah. Well, their plan was to just go cheap. So yes, but this is when they say that. Okay, now first off, you're not actually very profitable. Okay, you're profitable. You're technically profitable in the same way, but no more than the majority of top esports orgs are. And don't you fucking dare say something. Don't. I loved your. yes. Don't actually send that bitch. Yo, you fucking idiot! He's gonna post a screenshot. Like, can people stop harassing me? And then you're gonna get attacked, and fucking you are an idiot.
Oh, good lord. Okay.
Okay, listen. The profit, more profitable than majority of esports orgs that are, known, right?
Before.
No. Here's the thing. They are not profitable in esports. They're profitable in merch selling and fucking streaming. All right.
Yeah.
But in esports, you are not profitable. You're a fucking peasant org, and you're not actually that very profitable.
What that guy's saying. TSM,
you are washed up as shit.
TSM are apparently have always did very well by that Blitz app that they actually own. That Blitz apparently makes them profitable by everything that I've kept up with them. But you never know. That's obviously they have to say that kind of shit. So some people were talking about Soul, right? And they were mentioning the fact that, well, okay. Basically, TSM wanted to offer him like $60K to live in like LA. Now, people factor in. I live in California myself. Living in LA on $60K would not really cut it. Just being honest here. Now, even if he streamed consistently, it still wouldn't be enough. Literally, if you make $60K in LA, I don't live in LA, but if you did live in LA with $60K, your rent would be like 60% of that. I don't know how much you calculate out of that shit, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. That's not sustainable. He would literally have to have roommates. I'm pretty sure. Someone said, but he would only have to pay rent, right? TSM offered him no housing. Okay? So, yeah, you're paying electricity, gas, wherever you live. It depends on what kind of situation your apartment does. But, yeah, that's not worth it. I would have just said no myself.
You wasted, this org wasted tens of millions of dollars in a facility that is failing. You idiots. You idiots. You spent the majority of your profit on a fucking facility that's failing. You idiots. You imbeciles.
Also, they're streaming all
their streamers are leaving. Again, they are... I swear to God, TSM has to be like 95% of the players and streamers they have ever signed throughout their fucking history. Then a year later end up being the most toxic motherfuckers ever.
Yeah.
It's actually hilarious.
They just find the guy who got banned for 30 days for saying I'm gonna fight you if I see you in public.
Listen, main moderator is literally Dunk.
Remember they fired that girl because before she even knew what TSM even was, before she even became a part of TSM, she had said some weirdly non-race, some weirdly on the borderline kind of racist shit, but she deeply apologized for it. She said, I didn't mean to say that I was younger back then. And TSM found that, and they're like, no, you're fired. What the and by that time, it was like 2 years removed. She's definitely a much different person compared to then.
Yes, but then you're gonna have people like, let's see, Dunk, Leffen in your award.
Leffen's a cool dude.
Shut up, you fucking imbecile.
Leffen's a dude.
And let's see, and Greek God X.
We have diamond hands, and this partnership is going to take TSM FTX to the moon.
Anyway, as I said,
I need to read
as I've reported, listen.
You didn't report. You need Are you Mikey Sutton's son?
As I reported a year ago on the MSK stream, not only was FTX doing fraudulent shit, but now this will probably not happen because they also Griffin that go down below.
Griffin,
go down below. Yeah, this motherfucker right there, Griffin lol below.
Oh, okay.
This fucking incel was him and Dunk were the fucking incels on that Discord who banned me because for trolling because I A made a joke and B said that Chime would be a better support than their options, and now look what happened. You fucking I hope you fucking grab a rope and just fuck off in life. You can go kill yourself.
Tell me how you really feel.
But anyway, it won't happen. But they were also, as my friend,
they're doing crack. They're doing crack.
He works for them and he handles like money shit. TSM was doing fraudulent shit with their FTX money as well, like shit that breaks the law. But they're not gonna. Don't worry, they'll be good because they definitely won't investigate. And if they do, then they'll have Reginald investigate for them like the last time. Okay. So don't worry, they'll be good.
So my thing here is, okay, so TSM announced in their little update video that they were also building another facility. People know TSM has a facility, but they said they hired a lot more people, so they needed to build another facility because they hired more people, okay? And they also did that around the time period they got the FTX sponsorship. Okay, now the FTX sponsorship is no more. How are you still funding that facility?
Guess who our new owner is? El Chapo. It's gonna be so good.
I mean, he has more class than TSM and Reginald. Let's not fucking go down there.
Hey, our new sponsor is Putin. Right, he can bring great equity to our.
I mean that's better luck than fucking anything TSM's done for the last 6 years. So I'll take it.
Oh my god!
TSM, and we'll be donating to Russia for the war.
TSM outside of League, well, they've always did decently well in League, and decent, I mean rare minimum decent. There are other esports pop off for them like Rainbow Six, Apex, Smash. Leffen is a good Smash player.
Smash somewhat, but they
Leffen is not one of the best Smash.
Leffen's one of the best Smash players of all time in Melee.
No, he is not.
Fuck off! What are you gonna
Leffen had an amazing he had an amazing 2 years, and even then he wasn't like the number one, and then that's it.
Drugs.
Yes, he's up there as one of the top one, but he's not in the
Sean, Mr. Canadian man. Here.
No, fuck you. Don't play that.
Sean, this is for you.
What they do is they grab wads of shit from the crack of their asshole, and then what they do is throw it at the wall, and they hope that it sticks, but the shit's not sticking. Right? I have shit proof. Like defenses all around me. So when you
just describing Leffen's play,
it just doesn't impact us.
That's what he does in Smash. He just throws shit at the ball. Yeah.
You are on drugs.
No, he's like top 20, but he isn't like top 5. That's what I mean, dumbass.
What'd you say to me?
Of course, they stand ass.
Oh my god, you fucking imbecile.
Take Biddy Tuesday.
Anyway, and then Rainbow Six, their team was excellent at first, but and they still are great, but they're not like a top in that either. And again, they only won like a few, regional things. They haven't like won any huge things.
I was looking at
their team.
Well, what did you say?
Anyway, and listen, TSM is the same. They're like the opposite of Team Liquid. Their teams in every other esport besides League of Legends wins the top titles in games that actually has value, while TSM does it in the games that mean shit.
So yes, Leffen is one of the best Melee players of all time. Fuck off what that guy says.
He's top 20. He is not top 5 or one of the best.
You're gonna say Zane's better? I think Zane's pretty good actually. I'm not saying.
Yeah, probably, but he's not.
The guy who plays Pikachu is actually pretty good. Axel, is that his name? Axe or some shit? Yeah, Axe is pretty good. We need to watch more competitive Melee. That shit is so fun to watch.
Yes,
it's somewhat.
And also, by the way, and for the record, you do not get to be called the best Melee player of all time if you fucking play Jigglypuff. That's an
Hungry Dog,
automatic.
he's hard.
That's an automatic disqualification if you play Jigglypuff.
Is it? I love this man's line of thinking. Unless you win the way he wants to, it doesn't count. That's not how it works.
Any champ besides Jigglypuff, you're
No,
a
he's
bitch.
not wrong because Jigglypuff hitbox with the thing.
Jigglypuff is
Yeah.
actually broken.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
Thunderfox uses it.
Duffy and
Yeah.
Melee, if you're auto pick in Jigglypuff, I'm looking at you like, all right, cool. Fuck it, I'm gonna go Kirby because Kirby like is bullshit, but Kirby does like, and it says counter Jigglypuff to a certain degree.
Like I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, this Mango is going to be the best player of all time for a lot of people. Mango definitely should be the best.
Mango literally is. He has like
how many
just
titles?
Longevity and everything titles. Like
okay, hey man, this Levin said the last year I went to Evo before the Chinese virus ate us all alive. Levin said I'm gonna win Evo 2019. Went there and won it. What a legend that is! Come on, that's something.
That happened like once, and plus
that happened like once. Acting like as that's easy to do.
Yes, I told you he had. I told you he had a great 1 or 2 years, but then ever since then, no.
I swear, you probably like fucking what's that guy who plays Captain Falcon? Wizrobe, yeah, Wizrobe. You probably like because you probably look like him too. You fucking
right.
all look the same to me.
All right, he's like a wannabe, and then he tried being like a wannabe Sonic Fox and failed in other games.
He played other games. You're a hate. It's because you hate. You're a hater. You're literally Warren for TSM. Oh my god.
All right, yeah, I bet you're the type of bitch who got triggered over Sonic Fox's side swap in that Evo.
I don't like you, and Sonic Fox is black, and I don't follow black people.
Out of all the things you could call him, you bring up his race.
Wait, VG Boot Camp. Wait, they unsubscribed me from VG Boot Camp? That's all I was watching, all those fucking Smash games. So I love watching competitive Melee. I can't really play it that well, but I like watching it.
Well, listen, I really like the Super Smash Bros. Where they where the grand.
Ultimate? You watched the Ultimate gameplay? I did. I
like Ultimate, but I go to Melee. Melee is
I love the Smash ones. No, I love the Smash Bros. Where they had the last grand finals ever at Evo until they moved to Ultimate, and then they just had two Bayonettas dancing for 5 minutes in the finals.
Yeah.
Refusing to fight.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the thing here is, like, I liked watching Ultimate. I did, but I think I just naturally liked watching Melee more. I think the personalities in Melee are a lot more.
No, the Wii U was way better, guys. Just shut up.
You don't speak to me.
Melee's gameplay is more simplistic. Like
it's like simple yet high skilled when you're talking about like the top guys.
Melee is the most skilled.
Yeah.
Ultimate, there's not like players I really. It's not like I can't follow Ultimate. It's just I don't know. It's not as fun to watch competitively as Melee,
because some of these champions some of these characters are just uber broken. Like how Sean says about Jigglypuff and Melee. If you play, it's Bayonetta and one other character Melee, not Melee and Ultimate. If you pick up, I'm just looking at you like, all right, cool. What's Kirby at? Like I'm just gonna troll
Ultimate is one of the most overrated games of this of the decade. It's literally just like MCU the game.
This man says that about every game.
Yeah, people care more about what character gets revealed than the actual game itself, because the actual game itself, while it's great, it's nothing amazing.
Yeah.
Because the best Smash games to me are always Melee, and I think maybe Ultimate's like the second best by default.
Yeah, by default, because Brawl got to the point where they made a bootleg version of it. Like someone created that was actually a better version.
And they made Meta Knight like uber broken. Like why? If someone auto picks Meta Knight, you might as well just give up the game.
No.
If you play a mirror match, you're not winning.
No, the only way you can beat Meta Knight without mirror match is Kirby. Because he can just mimic all his powers. It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
But
we have something else to talk about on these streams now. I don't know you guys watch Melee, actually.
I used to play Melee.
Yeah.
Like I used to be like the person that was the practice person for a lot of people. That's why I would just play Kirby, just beat a lot of people. It's like, and then like I think I got a champion. Like, oh yeah, I play Jigglypuff. I look at him like, oh okay, you one of those motherfuckers. Fucking piece of shit. I call some.
Also, guys, before we head out, I actually have to go in a little bit. Before we head out
Yeah.
tonight, I'm gonna start playing Valorant. I'm gonna start watching Valorant 2. I'm getting set up to stream Valorant later on tomorrow, actually. Today I was watching the women play Cloud9 versus G2 in the finals. The girls are something. I don't know. They're somethings, you know.
Well, I mean, Cloud9's female Valorant team has won like the last 6 titles.
Aren't they the best in terms of like just the women's league?
Yeah.
Yes, they stomped everyone. Yeah.
But the G2 girls said they're better.
No. that wasn't like the main title anyway. That's just a side thing. But also they just got actually lucky there. They won't win. I mean, unless the team just falls off for Cloud9, which could happen soon.
Yeah, because today's the finals between the female teams. Actually, I don't know these people so far. Why do they all act like Carlos? They all act like mini Carloses.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I will say the one thing I don't think enough people brought up about that DRX win is also another story is the coaches. Like, I don't think enough people bring up that because first off, they had a coach at the start of the season they signed in January and February, all right? And he was a world champion for IG, but then he was released for some reason. I forgot the reason, like either fired or something. At the start of the season. So then right after, they were getting everything together. All right. So then they had to shove like 2 coaches who weren't ready into the head coach position to replace a guy who won a world championship, who was then fired for doing some shit. And it was Mowgli, who was literally, this was his first year as a coach in fucking LCK or even League of Legends, and he was also in the T1 org last year, who then they beat in the finals. So his first year as a fucking LCK coach, and then S-Song was the head coach, and I don't know if you know the history of S-Song. Do you, MSK?
S-Song. I remember these guys.
He's been coaching since 2013. Well, he was the starting mid laner in 2012 to 2013 for Najin, and then since 2013 has been coaching for teams, and he's been coaching like almost every contender for LCK who was expected, go to Worlds and like possibly win it over SKT, but then just failed. Like Kook Tigers, Rocks Tigers, Najin, Longzhu Gaming, and then eventually after all those failures and then fail into like fucking actually do anything with teams he should have with, he then just went to NA, and then he also he would coach that Immortals team, I believe, that went on that hot streak like 17-1, but then fucking failed to make Worlds later. So then he went to fucking TSM, the coach at Best in the West thing with Sven and Miffy. That fucking failed. So then it got so bad, his reputation, he coached for Echo Fox in 2019 and CLG in 2020, and he both got released mid-season on both of those rosters in fucking August. And then later on he was just like, DRX just like out of pity gave him a job as like a positional coach. And now he just got shoved into the head coach position and won Worlds. So there's 3 storylines right there.
I think that's just a combination of luck.
Yeah, it is kind of, but still, that is 3 storylines that I don't think enough people are giving credit with the coaches.
Also, I'll say this before anyone starts playing revisionist history. No way on this earth POC can change the meta. He was not that good and was like, you know what? I'm playing Kindred. That's literally what he did.
Yeah.
He did that against EDG when they're about to get 3-0. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. If I'm going to go out, I'll just go out playing the shit I like. He picked Kindred, and then they won. He did not change the meta.
No, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. Again, people were giving him too much shit. He was solid. Same thing with Juhan.
Shit, and then he turned into PO sick.
No, they were solid. They had issues, but they weren't like at all as bad throughout the years. People said. I think
they were at one point. I think they only had like 2 wins at one point in the LCK.
That was last year, not this year.
No, I think
summer. That was summer 2021.
I remember earlier this year I was watching. They looked like shit. Our record looked really bad from them. That was probably in spring because did they make playoffs in spring? I think they did.
No, in spring, They were good. They were like the fourth, like they got like fourth or something, but then they lost the first round to Quantum.
6? No, Fredit Shidion got 6.
Yes, yeah, they lost to Quantum Freaks in playoffs, so they got upsetted there.
Oh yeah, they went 11-7. That's a weird record.
Yeah, and then they went like, and then they went 9-9, I believe, or something, or 8-10 in summer.
They had an easier schedule for their last games. That's the reason why they went 11-7. I remember that.
Yeah,
their last weeks of games, they played Wangdong Chingchong Freaks, Live Shitbox, and Nong Shit Red Force.
Okay.
Their last games were against like the worst teams at that time because some of these teams actually got better. I think that's the reason why they finished 4th. San Wai finished 3-15. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, I mean, I will say there was like people when they qualified for Worlds when people expected KT and Sandbox to be both better than them.
In the regular season, 6th place, 9-9. I remember that. Yeah, they finished 9-9.
Yes, but again, people expected KT and Sandbox to be better teams. People thought Quantum Freaks was actually as good, if not better, than them. And also in the 5 last games when Najin finally looked like a team together, but obviously, you know, they didn't have the record to do anything like make playoffs or anything. People thought they looked better in those games and how DRX was like starting to look in summer and in the regional gauntlet. They thought all those teams were better than them. It was just it was just Fredit Brion and Home One Life that people thought they were better than them at that point. So they were literally like, people thought they were like the 8th best LCK team going into Worlds, and that play-ins teams were better than the minor region teams.
If anyone thought that, you need to quit being an analyst.
People actually thought like teams like fucking what's their name?
They went 2-4 in their last BO3s. They went 0-2 against Live Shitbox. And they won 2-0 against Nangshan Red Force, which you obviously they were trash. Yeah. And they lost to T1 0-2.
Yeah, right. It was Decimation focused me. People thought that they were better than them.
Is that their last regular season BO3 was against T1 and they went 0-2. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, but anyway, that's just to put into perspective how much of like underdogs there were going into that. People thought they were like the 8th LCK best team.
Okay, if anyone said they were worse than playing teams, you need to quit playing League. Go watch competitive fucking Call of Duty 2 or some shit. You're not an analyst.
Well, I mean, I didn't think they were better than Sangal and Buffalo. I just predicted Sangal and Buffalo because I like predicting.
That's because they all look the same to you.
No, I just Jesus fuck. I just like predicting upsets, and I thought Saigon Buffalo had that flash and were good. They, you know, and they did, but they just didn't have the consistency to actually win as much games as I thought they would. But I just fucking DRX was not very good like at the start, but. So, I mean, for people trying to play revisionist history, saying, like, no, you're always just sleeping on DRX the whole time. No, they were actually just that generic, like, solid, but generic and unspecial the whole time. Shouldn't have made it out first seed over RNG. Like, they should have made it out, just not first seed over RNG if it wasn't for some luck there. And then they were just, like, got some luck that they were in literally the worst group stage out of the 4. But all right, after that, though, then they improved. But before that, no, they were actually just that unspecial.
What Abadage said, what's up, guys? It's Saikuno here, and today we're playing Warwick in the Jungle. What?
Jesus
what the fuck? Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up tonight. We had a pretty good show. We're going to have some more Cloud9 podcasts. So I think someone asked, what do you guys do when the season's over? We just have shows. We just don't talk about League, essentially. We just talk about whatever. That's kind of how it works. You know, I mean, we'll have shows where we do our rankings, right? We have the tier list that we usually do every year. Instead of doing rankings, that's kind of generic. We just do the tier list. We'll have the tier list for the LEC, any LCS when the LCS is finalized, and then after that, we'll just have just generic episodes. We talk about
wait, guys, those like League of Legends female tournaments are going on. We can do streams off of that.
Okay. What's wrong with you?
Because I'm sure that's quality League of Legends.
Yeah.
I'm sure Thorin, would love to cast it.
Yeah. I'm gonna start playing Valorant. I'm gonna start playing Valorant. We're gonna start talking more competitive Valorant because Valorant Tour NA is gonna be here, and we're gonna have that as competitively to talk about. That actually has 30 teams. The LCS has 10. The LEC has 10. Everything. LP. Oh, guys, coming up this year, we're gonna have a lot more content for you. We're gonna have a new series debuting. It's gonna be a fun series. We're gonna be putting our money where our mouth is, and we're gonna have bets with it too. Oh my goodness. So yeah, thank you guys for all the newer subscribers that we've gotten. You know, it's good. I want to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year, but if I don't, it's a whatever. Let's try again next year. It's fine, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. There's nothing else to really talk about. Cloud9 are gonna win the split, obviously. We're gonna shit on fucking all these dirty ass LCS orgs, you know. That's how it's gonna work. You guys believe it?
Fuck, wait, Marin is their fucking head coach. Jesus Christ.
Do you live under a rock? Like literally in a rock?
I'm not okay. I don't look at the fucking reports actively, dumbass.
Yeah, Marin, who played with Faker back in 2015 as TL's head coach.
You know, I actually don't mind that. That's interesting.
I've never seen him coach. I've seen him on Top Esports.
Yeah,
LG.
no, this is his first time ever coaching. Ever.
Yeah. No one. We haven't heard of Marin. I haven't heard of Marin in forever.
Yes, it was last in the scene in 2018 on Top Esports.
Yeah. That's
when they were called Top Sports Gaming.
Anybody remembers when he joined Top Esports back then? That was jank as fuck. Oh Lord.
Yeah. So it's been fucking 4 years. Jesus.
I mean, if they're gonna have an all Wong Dong Slop Dong speaking roster, I mean,
yeah. I mean, I hope they have an assistant coach with some more coaching experience, though. But I mean, I don't mind that. You know,
because the thing here is Korean players like to be all on the same page. So if you have an all Korean coaching staff, all Korean roster, you're not gonna have any language barriers. You're not gonna have that clashing of culture styles. Yeah. They're all gonna know what each other, theoretically, it's all in theory, all each other really wants, though. You're not going to have an NA player going, we should probably play through bot lane right now because it's really good. It's like, no. We're going to play through this lane.
That's an American player, sound like?
No, because a lot of American players will be very selfish for how they want to play the game and not want to try out different styles. A Korean team, I could see them with an all-Korean roster trying out a lot of different shit. So I actually think this is an exciting thing for a team like Wood. You know, because people said, how can you have an all Korean roster? You have 3 Korean players that are born here or count as import, or don't count as imports, and you get 2 import Korean players. That's it. If the rumor's true and they have Summit literally beat the shit out of every top laner this past spring. That would definitely make them pretty good. You know?
Yeah. And also for the record, Charlie is still a great coach. That was just a horrendous fit.
If it's only the players Sean like. If Sean likes the guy, he gets exuded from, fucking criticism.
No, he literally is. He proved it. That was just like the worst fit ever.
He couldn't even see the players.
What the fuck?
I mean, they're keeping Maple, Chime, and Solo. I mean, okay. I mean, I think Chime played well. I think Maple played well.
What's wrong with that? I mean, besides maybe Solo, but
they're gonna pick up Boogie from where that fucking region he played in. Boogie.
From Latin America.
Yeah, Boogie. Yeah. The same place they got Mia from, and then they benched him after like 3 weeks, and then never played him again.
Oh my god.
Yep, he was from.
He's another. Oh my god, he's the same fucking. He's another Korean import from the same Latin American team where they imported the other Korean import Mia from that league.
Literally, people don't remember. Don't let TSM have this. TSM imported Mia from Estral Esports, played him for like 3 weeks, benched him, then fired him in Academy.
And now they're doing it with Boogie.
Boogie comes over here and he plays back. He's going to Academy and he's getting fired.
No. He is good, but the other Korean import on their team, Miru, is way better. But I mean, his top laner and fucking ADC he played with was dog shit on Estral. Yeah, no, he was good in that league, but Jesus Christ, they didn't even win it though. They choked it because of that base race.
All right, Chaz, you want to say anything about what you got coming up this week, where people can find you?
Mr. Blink's channel. Just got some videos coming out soon. Gotta take a little break.
Yeah, you've been finally putting out some stuff. That's good. As long as you keep it up, that's good. Sean's got nothing. He's gonna literally just be here with us, guys. That's literally how that works.
I mean, if you let me out of your fucking cell, then I'll do something.
Yeah, he's been talking to fucking Jaded consistently about his A24 takes, knowing Jaded hates A24. He just does this mental gymnastic with himself consistently. I don't know why he does, but okay. Just something he just locks himself into.
Okay, no, oh my god.
A24
literally the opposite.
A24 is literally they're a movie company. They produce some cinema.
A cinema, unlike
they
you.
produce some cinema. The Disney produces cinema with our LGBTQ woke shit. It's going on in that company.
Jesus Christ. I can't wait to watch an 83-year-old Indiana Jones.
I can't wait to see A24 produce a Friday the 13th series and it not be weird.
That's gonna be fucking fire.
This man is capping out his ass.
X.
Their Jason is literally gonna. Oh my god,
X wasn't a bad movie. I finally saw it.
No. Listen, I'm not saying X and Pearl, and I don't know where this rumor came from where I said those films were great. I never did. I said for what they are, they're solid, like general audience slasher films.
This is what Sean looks like.
And in comparison.
This is Sean. He's talking about A24.
That's you when you talk about fucking anything on this channel because you keep backpedaling. Jesus Christ. Okay, now I'm saying for what they were, they were solid general audience slasher films, and because in comparison to like almost all the others that have come out in like the last fucking 15 years, they're better in comparison. So I give them some credit there, and they actually had some merits and stuff over the others and a good style. That's all I said. And I don't know if for some reason people then took that and turned it into Sean said those are amazing films. Oh, what the fuck? I watched that. It wasn't amazing. What a waste of time.
It was a quality film, and you are just a hater. That's what.
But anyway, that gives me faith though that Friday the 13th will at least be solid. Because, I mean, those films aren't anything special anyway, so solid is good enough.
All right, everyone, goodbye. I will see you later. See you guys. I'll be posting more LCS off-season content whenever LEC Wulu or anyone credible drops it. That's pretty much it. All right, guys. Peace. Deuces. Goodbye.